It's Luke Howard live at lunchtime. Woo! Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much for that great round of applause, as always. Hello, afternoon everybody, and yes, welcome to another cracking show of Britain's brightest, best radio show. It's Tuesday the 2nd of February, and it's great to have your company on the show today. 2nd into February already, day 2 into the month already. Gosh, time has gone quick. To get in touch with the show, do email either GaryJHoward68@hotmail.com, or there's 345457 at student.hrc.ac.uk. You can also find the show on Instagram. It's the Luke Howard fan page, and you could also use hashtag Luke Howard live at lunchtime, and hashtag listen to Luke Howard live at lunchtime. All the details are on Instagram and my Spreaker page. It's all below, or just leave the message below where this show is being broadcast, and I shall get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, so what we got coming up on the show today? It's lovely to have your company, by the way. It really is. Great to have your company. Do get in touch if you'd like to. And we're talking lots of great news today. We're going to kickstart. We're talking about Gogglebox, and then we're talking about a bit of COVID news, and then we're going to talk a bit about pay later firms, and then we're going to talk famous birthdays, of course, and of course the calendar, of course the national days. So we'll get to that now. I think we'll get to that next, because today is National Groundhog Day. It's Tater Tot Day. It's Heavenly Hash Day, and yes, if you are celebrating, I don't know what hash day is. It sounds a bit like hash brownie sort of thing, but it is hash day today. So if you are, oh no, it's not. It's a chocolatey sort of cakey sort of thing. But anyway, if you are celebrating any of those days today, I hope you can. Hope you enjoy it. We're celebrating carrot cake on the show tomorrow, because it's Carrot Cake Day tomorrow. So we're going to be talking a little bit about carrot cakes on the show tomorrow. So that sounds interesting. But going back to today, then, we're going to talk a bit about. We're talking now about the Gogglebox channel, because I tell you what, I've been doing my research. When I came into the studio this morning, the first news that sparked my eye was Channel 4. The Channel 4 show has been responding to allegations of poor staff welfare, and I never knew this, because I don't really watch Gogglebox, and you can actually get famous by going on this show. To be honest with you, you can actually get famous for going on it, because TV production company yesterday, it takes the welfares of its staff extremely seriously after allegations of the minimum working conditions behind the scenes of Gogglebox. The show is one of the Channel 4's biggest hits, but actually requires a lot of editing before the Friday night broadcast. A report in The Guardian alleged staff which were shouting at and had to work exclusive hours without any breaks. Now, Studio Lambert said it had support systems in the place for staff. The Guardian said it had heard from multiple members of staff who previously or currently worked on that series. People had enough. They had enough, and they didn't turn up to work, just screamed for the 12 hours a day. A former employer told the newspaper anonymously it was the worst job they ever did. Really? Why would you say that? The way that it's made is irony at times. The allegations follows the sudden departure of former showrunner Tanya Alexandra, who quit. She quit without explanation in November, and it was midway through the latest series. Well, I learned something new every day on this programme. In a statement to the BBC, the production house said that the Studio Lambert takes the welfare of its teams extremely seriously across its all productions, which had a number of measures in place to encourage people to come forward with any concerns that may have, as well as support systems for a range of issues. Gogglebox requires its production team to quickly sit through the edit hours of footage every week in time for its Friday night broadcast. Now, some staff on the show allegate they had deleted the NHS tracking app, so they would not have to self-isolate because they had been warned against disparaging production. Studio Lambert said all the shows since March last year had been produced with COVID-19 safe protocols. Channel 4 said it has a clear code of conduct. I mean, it would be quite easy actually to film it, because they don't actually put the camera, they don't actually work the cameras in their homes. What they actually do is they just stick a camera in there and leave it in there and they forget it's in there. So it's quite easy to really film it. But it has a clear code of conduct which sets out the standards of behaviour and it expects from its suppliers, the production partners. They said we can't, it said Studio Lambert and Gogglebox said that they can't comment on anonymous allegations and rumours, but they were established that Studio Lambert is taking appropriate action to ensure the welfare of its teams is to enforce appropriate standards of behaviour across the shows it makes for us. Now, it then said that it is not, known whether any formal complaints had been made to management at Studio Lambert. However, the Electric Trade Union confirmed to the BBC it had received a number of complaints. Gogglebox is one of Channel 4's biggest hits, and it regularly attracted a contested audience of more than million viewers, including more who's watched up to catch up. We are also, by the way, going to get the best Michael Walker back on the show today. I forgot to tell you, he's coming on today's show today, so we'll let you all know about that. Now, the series had won for the National Television Awards and a BAFTA for Best Reality and Constructed Programme. It began our airing in 2013 and made stars of some of its contributors after appearing on Gogglebox. Scarlett Moffat went on to win I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and she scored a representative role on Saturday Night Takeaway, which is what I did actually see. She was on Saturday Night Takeaway. I've seen her on there. She was very funny. I thought she was hilarious. Now, Kate Botley, another former contributor, is now a regular on BBC Radio 2's Pause for Thought, while George Gibley went to appear in Celebrity Big Brother. The show is currently off air now with Russell T Davies's drama. It's a Sing being broadcast in usual time slot. However, a new series of Gogglebox is going to be airing from this very month. Woo! Oh, I don't really watch Gogglebox, so I don't know why I'm cheering. But the crew members are not required to be in the same house as the contributors, as the cameras are already rigged up in their homes. Some viewers have questioned how certain families will still appear as part of the same households when they don't live together, but Channel 4 has maintained that all guidelines are being alerted to. Now, Pierce from Suffolk has got in touch with the show to say, Luke, that's a great story to talk about on the show. The show is fantastic. Thank you very much for that great message, Pierce. That's Pierce from Suffolk. Television programmes and movies are allowed to continue filming during lockdown, thanks, of course. As I just said, obviously, I knew everything. I knew it could continue because it's so easy to film. An extension announced by Culture Secretary Oliver Dowden. The current government guidelines also state that people who live on their own are allowed to form a support bubble with another household. Because Gogglebox stars and staff live in the UK, it has also been largely unaffected by last month's tightening of the rules on travelling to the UK from overseas for TV and film productions. Okay, we'll leave that one there, I think. Okay, let's move on then. Yes, let's move on. Because we're now talking about people in South Africa who've been violent test areas which are urged to think twice. Now, people in areas that have been singled out for enchanted testing for the South African variant should further limit the time they spend away from home. The University's Minister Michelle Donovan said that those affected should be thinking twice about their actions. On the spot, doorstep tests, home testing kits and mobile testing units are going to be deployed in the 8 areas. The Health Secretary said that he warned to come down hard on the variant, and he also follows fears that the more infectious version may be spreading in communities in our very country. Mr. Dolan told a news programme that people in the targeted areas should be having a conversation with their employer about making sure that they can work from home and are limiting even more at a time that they are outside of their homes. The Enchanted Testing Programme aims to reach 80,000 people, and Matt Hancock, the Health Secretary, said finding every case of the variant was the goal, with everyone over 16 in the targeted areas to take a test and whether they have symptoms or not. Now, Jane, as mentioned, has so far uncovered 105 cases of the variant, which likes the variant previously discovered in Kent, which is in his country, Kent, the county of Kent, and it was thought to be more contract. 11 of the cases of the South African variant had no link to foreign travel, promoting concerns if it is spreading in the community. Now, Dr. Susan Hopkins from the Public Health England, she said the existing vaccines may offer less protection against the South African variant, although they still offer a good level of immunity. And the surge testing will take place in the 8 areas linked to case of the variant, which is parts of the ME15 postcode area in Kent, parts of WS2 postcode in Walsall, which is in the West Midlands, and of course GU21 is the postcode in Woking, Surrey, and CR4 postcode area around Police Hill in South London. Tottenham, Hale, of course, in N17 area of North London, parts of W7 and W13 in West London, of course, EN10, which is the area in Broxbourne, which isn't very far from where I live, actually. It's about a half an hour, nearly. And, of course, parts of the PR9 area in Southport as well. I didn't know Broxbourne was also on there as well. But most areas of home testing kits are being delivered and collected, while some areas also providing mobile testing kits. In Kent, police, council workforce, firefighters and other agencies will visit homes to carry out on-the-spot tests of everyone in households. Sefton Council, which covers Southport, said yesterday that it was still working out the additional tests that will be carried out, although it's expected to establish dedicated testing tests for the new variant. Now, Mr. Hancock also said it was absolutely virtual that people in these areas will cases of the variant may be identified, minimised of all social contact. Have we got the video of him talking? Yes, we have. Let's listen to him talking now.
Last week, we offered our capacity and expertise to other nations through our new variant assessment platform, because a mutation in one part of the world is a threat to people everywhere. For example, our South African colleagues spotted a new variant through their high-quality genomic sequencing and rightly notified the world, as we did with the variant that we discovered here in the UK. We've now identified 105 cases of this variant here. 11 of those cases don't appear to have any links to international travel. There's currently no evidence to suggest this variant is any more severe, but we need to come down on it hard, and we will. We've already made sure that all these cases are isolating and that we've done enhanced contact tracing of all of their close contacts. We're surging extra testing into the areas where this variant has been found and sequencing every single positive case. Working with local authorities, we're going door to door to test people in the local area. These cases have been identified in the following postcodes: in W7, N17, CR4, WS2, ME15, EN10, GU21 and PR9. If you live in one of these postcodes where we're sending in enhanced testing, then it is imperative that you stay at home and that you get a test even if you don't have symptoms. This is so important so that we can break the chains of the transmission of this new variant, and we've got to bring this virus to heel.
Mass testing has previously been developed in Liverpool, though, where more than 200,000 people were tested in November, detecting 800 domestic cases. It plans to extend the testing programme of 6 to 7 areas of England, although concerns were raised about the reality of rapid lateral flow tests, which are also being used as well. The surge testing being developed in 8 areas, whereas South Africa variant, which was detected, will, however, offer the more effective PCR test to people who need to leave home from work or other essential purposes. Okay, we'll leave that there. We've got one more then. We've got one more story to talk about then now, and that's the buy now, pay later firms such as currently face stricter controls. Now, fears over young shopping stakes mean that they now pay later firms such as Credit will face more scrutiny and regulators. These services offered through major retailers. They've split payments, identity and interest fee, and are used by millions of people. But the Financial Conduct Authority said that it would be easy to build up new same debts of £1,000, and it will also regulate the sector after use of the services. We saw a new third-fold rise last year, and but it will now pay later services which are used by 5 million people in the UK for total sales of 2.7 billion. And 1 in 10 people using them already had debt errors elsewhere. And a wide-ranging FCA review into the credit services which were found. Economic Secretary to the Treasury, John Glean, said that by stepping in and regulating, we're making sure people are treated fairly and only offered agreements where they can afford the same protections you'd expect with other loans. And Chris Wallard, who led the FCA review recommending regulations, said that although pay later was convicted by some people with others, it was a really easy way to fall into problem debt. Now, this debt it has not been seen by credit reference agencies and other lenders, and under the new plans, providers would need to undertake authority checks before leading the ensure customers would also treated fairly, which were those who were vulnerable for struggling with repayments. Now, the government said it would legislate as soon as possible, and Alex Marsh, the UK head of the Swedish company Clearly, which has 10 million customers in the UK, explained that now is the time for regulation. The firms allow people to choose at an online physical checkout to pay over items. They also provide